Hi, everyone. Hi. Welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Happy Memorial Day, if you have anyone special that you are remembering. I think we are live. Let me know if the sound is okay. Might have a little bit more quiet group today because it is a 3-day weekend. Great to see everybody here. Thank you for coming to coming to brunch. Every time I sit down, I have to ask myself, okay, did I forget anything? And if so, what did I forget? I forgot a little bit of a hold on a second. Well, hello. Thank you so much for coming to brunch with me today. My name is Whimsy. I'm a whimsical type of gal. And we are broadcasting live from beautiful downtown, from somewhere in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon. This is our Sunday brunch show. And gosh darn it, it's good to see you. So let me tell you a little bit about what we have planned today. First off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say hi to everybody who was kind enough to join me here Sunday, and also just let us know where you're coming from, and say hi to everybody else in the brunch. We can get the chat started. Like I said, I'm coming from Portland. Tell us all where you're coming from. And maybe tell us if you're having your brunch with us in a restaurant or if you're having it at home. Maybe you're having it in another country and so it's dinner. Maybe it's a midnight snack. Maybe you're having breakfast. Who knows? But let us know who you are, where you come from, and what you eating. I'm having a cup of coffee. I usually have a green smoothie. Today I might have oatmeal. I don't know. I'm thinking. Hi, Kathy PR from England. Great to see you. Nina's in the house and she's coming from Sweden. Beautiful. Melinda from beautiful California is here. Gold Weaver, beautiful. She is a member and she's coming from Sicily. Beautiful. Liz L is from the Bay Area. This is as you can see, it's a very large table, our brunch table. Shar is from Spokane, Washington. I'm right next to you, Shar. Good to see you. And Gigi is in Columbia. Linda coming in from northern Minnesota. Very nice. Thank you for helping today. Desiree Robato, the amazing and incomparable, is here helping and assisting, as are a couple of other moderators, and we certainly appreciate their help. Good to see you here, Joanna. Lobella59, hello. And Fabian Jones is coming from Austin, Texas. Wonderful. So, my goodness. Geocosmic Valentine is in the house, also helping us today, as is Debbie Brady. They are the moderators extraordinaire. Mark Rhodes, PR extraordinaire. He's our voluntary publicist. He always comes in, gives us great ideas, and we're glad to see him here as well. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be giving some remotes. Last night I did an extended remote, and gosh darn it, I felt like a ghost. In the sense that, like a ghost, you really can't leave, right? You're kind of stuck somewhere energetically. And so what we do is we do heart-centered remote viewing here on this channel, which is a form of remote viewing where we follow energy. And then if we get pulled into an energy, it's hard to get out of it. So Jay Cat Lady seems to have been right there with me. She is in Southeast Texas. Yes, Texas. That is what today's remote view is going to be talking about. We're going to do a little bit of remote viewing. I'd love to give you folks a community prayer, empath prayer and community reading after that. And then we're going to be doing some blitzes. So we're going to talk a little bit about Texas because all eyes are on Texas. We had talked about this for the last couple of years that when remote viewers, not just me, has about 40 trained HCRV practitioners in the world right now with certification. I know it seems small, but we're growing quickly. Other people who are practitioners of HCRV have been having the same phenomenon where we will scan the grid and we will find ourselves in Texas. So all of that is what we're going to be talking about. Then, as I said, we'll do the community reading. Then we're going to do some blitzes. For those people who don't know what a tarot card blitz is, it just means lightning round. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to do a tarot card blitz, and we do that so that people can get as many questions in as possible. Last thing I want to announce is that we are playing for charity. Usually on Sunday we play this. We all come here voluntarily to work to raise money for important causes. So today we are playing for the American Civil Liberties Union. That was a request by some of you, and I think the reason why is because civil liberties, alas, are under attack. Both the LGBTQ community has been experiencing, but also in terms of gun violence and safety also falls under ACLU, as does rights of immigrants, etc. So we have chosen the ACLU. Now, if you could like and subscribe and join this channel, that would be awesome to keep the channel going. So I have done all my announcements. We are at 0 funds raised for the ACLU. So if you want to be the first wonderful saintly person to donate, that would be amazing. All right, let's get into it. Today's remotes have to do with the issue of civil war. Now, this is something that people have talked about quite a bit. Is this fear that America is facing civil war. That things have become so tense at this point in the United States that people are talking about ceding, secession. They want out. We're seeing this a lot in Texas, but we're not just seeing this kind of talk of breaking up the union. We're also seeing people talking about it in Hawaii. People are talking about it in California. People are talking about it in Alaska. And people are talking about it in Texas. So when you're thinking about areas of the country where people are starting these groups that are going to cede from the union and are starting to feel this tension just in the union itself, we're seeing a lot of tension mostly in Texas. But what's scary about Texas is that you actually have members of this Congress, members of the Senate that are actually talking about this as if this is realistic. And at that point, you're seen as an enemy of the state. Would you agree or disagree? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because there are laws in other countries. For example, Israel. If you talk about destroying your country or ceding or breaking up the union, at that point, are you eligible to be a member of Congress, or are you a threat to these United States? You're going in to take on a position of power where you then become a threat to these United States. If that is your belief system, should you be entitled to serve Congress? This is the discussion. And this goes back to the conversation of all eyes on Texas. Because what we're hearing and seeing out of Texas is that people who are in positions of power, governors, senators, congresspeople, are basically saying that they have the right to threaten to cede from the union, but simultaneously take money from the union without any accountability, which is the other conversation we're going to have about Texas. And that has to do with corruption in business, giving contracts to people in Texas, and the fact that for every action, there's a reaction of equal or greater strength. Would you agree or disagree with that? So stand back now if you are an HCRV practitioner, psychic, whatever. You can grab your pendulum if you want to participate just for fun. And let's take a look at the energy of Texas and just observe it without any kind of an emotional attachment to it. And what we see is, first off, the migration patterns. So you have people coming in, you have people going out, you have people coming in, and you have people going out in ways that are really wild. And that's causing huge changes in suburban Texas. Would you agree or disagree about that? So you also have a changing demographic, right? So you have young people coming in, you have immigrants coming in, and you also have areas that were previously not really built up where young, off-grid hippies, you have a new changing demographic. The other thing is you have first generations Americans, quite a few being born in Texas. Would you agree or disagree? So of all the states that have been in, I see the most changing demographics in Texas. Now, the other thing you see when you go into the energy of Texas is you see the Justice Department. I'm sure a lot of you have been focusing on that if you are professional readers. And that has to do with the fact that if you go into the energy, we talked about this also when we talked about Keep Your Eyes on Texas, had to do with corruption, that they had taken money for COVID relief. They've also money that was supposed to go towards establishing certain things for the state. They took money as a state. They took money as a state from the feds and then misused it, which has led to a series of corruption investigations that are going to be coming out in the coming days that are focused on politicians, businesses, etc., and also possibly the sheriff's department in Texas. It looks like the police or the sheriffs are also facing some kind of audit. So things are really crazy over there. Anybody have anything that they want to contribute when they look at Texas or the energy over Texas? I just want to give a shout out also to everyone who has donated today to the ACLU. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you, Margaret Romero. I believe you may have been the first donator, as well as the anonymous people. Mel Broussard, thank you for your donation. L. Cooper's also donated, another anonymous donation from ACLU to the ACLU. Beautiful. So that energy, so you have a couple things happening in Texas. First off, it's like a freaking train station energetically. You know, I mean, it's like at comings and goings. Oh my goodness, right? So you have that aspect. The demographic. The other thing that's really interesting when you go into the energy of Texas is how many libertarians are there. These are old-fashioned cowboys that don't like anybody in their business. Maybe they have a girlfriend who's maybe Mexican, and they don't like the government coming in and telling them, treating their girlfriend badly, or maybe they don't want anyone telling them what they can do with their girlfriend. That type of energy is very strong also in Texas, which is the independent businessman who doesn't like I don't like the government in my business. So it goes back to this whole Texas thing. So you have a couple things going on that bring the feds in. First off, they miscalculated how many people in Texas really are trying to end abortion rights. So that really messed them up. Talk about extreme right position. The other extreme right position had to do with privatization, even when it meant putting people's lives at risk, like the privatization of the grid itself. So they wanted extreme privatization, and that leads to all kinds of investigations. And then the gun violence issue, I think, was the final tipping point for them, in the sense that with refusing to have sane gun laws. So the bottom line is that you see this shocking shift towards a kind of libertarianism would be the best way to describe the future of Texas. It's like it's a liberal libertarianism patriotism. Get the hell out of my business. Get the hell out of my pocketbook. Get the hell out of my bed. So I don't know what y'all think about that, but I have to say the only other state that has this kind of intensity is Michigan, but Michigan doesn't have the migration patterns of Texas. So that's why I think that Texas could be a real hot spot in the coming days for almost like a civil war. If there's going to be civil war in the United States, it goes back to energetically what we've talked about over and over again. All eyes on Texas, all eyes on Texas. Okay, so that's what I have in terms of remotes. I can understand a guy like that, though. He runs a ranch. Maybe his parents and grandfather owned a ranch. They pay a ton in taxes. He's got a cute little girl he met south of the border, and he doesn't want people in his business telling him maybe his girlfriend had to terminate a pregnancy. He doesn't want, who the heck are these people coming into his business? And he probably is a libertarian who votes Republican because he doesn't want to pay taxes. That person with this feeling that's happening right now in Texas, that liberal, libertarian, Republican persona is out. That's what I see. Just very foolish. Very, very foolish because they appealed to the evangelicals. And I don't feel based on this energy that the money that drives the Republican Party in Texas is evangelical, not with this energy. It's the independent guy who has libertarian values, he doesn't want somebody taking his gun away. He doesn't want anyone taking his taxes away. He doesn't want anyone in his bed. That is the flavor that I feel when I go into this energy. Yeah, it's really not an evangelical Republican energy. That's at all. It's money, it's business, and it's leave me the heck alone. I went out west. My people went out west to get away from this, right? People go out west to get away. So our parents were kind of, those of us who went out west are descended from perhaps some antisocial people. I don't know. People stayed east that wanted to be in the crowds. They wanted to be in the cities, right? Okay. Well, that was curious and intense. Yeah, Susan, I think that a good question from Susan Nesson. Thank you for mentioning that, by the way. I think that it's exactly what Susan is saying, which is that this is exactly what had to happen to get the Democrats to win. Do you guys feel that the shooting was the tipping point? Was it the beginning of the end? I'm sorry, I have trouble pronouncing the name. Uvalde? Is that how you pronounce it? Was it building towards Beto O'Rourke winning the governorship before this, or do you feel that this was the last straw? Because I feel like this was the last straw. All right. Would everybody like a community reading? You felt Roe v. Wade was. Okay, Susan. Yeah, I think Roe v. Wade was, but this is definitely. And then when you have the criminal investigations coming in, the corruption, the amount of money that was stolen, that's really going to be. Yeah, so let's do the community reading. Everybody having fun? All right, let's do a community. Thank you, everyone who has liked, subscribed, joined the channel. It means a lot to me. And thank you so much for your donations to the ACLU. It's a beautiful organization, and I know they appreciate the help. So we're going to do the MPAS prayer, unless somebody has an announcement they need to make or something like that before we go. And then we'll give a community reading. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. Let's do the reading. I wonder where my cat went to. Oh, she's down there sleeping. Okay, what message does Spirit want? Cindy Loomis. God, your breakfast sounds amazing. All right, where you are at right now is the time to return back to what you love. This is a message that's come up a lot in Spirit, is about being a good parent to yourself. Be a good parent to yourself. That's what today's message is about. Take care of yourself. Be a good parent to yourself. Being a good parent means replacing whatever internal voice you have and asking yourself, is this voice out for my genuine good or not? That's what being a good parent is. Did you have a parent that said yes to you, or did you have a parent that told you absolutely not, your dreams are ridiculous, absolutely not, you don't have time for your dreams, no. What you want to do, don't give it time, don't take it seriously, because what you want to do has no value. So the exact opposite message now is what you want to do, what you always wanted to do when you were a kid, has value, and now is the time for you to pursue it. So it's about returning back to the things that you loved when you were a child and giving yourself permission to do the things you were not allowed to do. Maybe you didn't have the time, maybe you didn't have the money, maybe you had parents that were stressed out about things. But now is the time to pursue the things you love. You can see here the base of the matter is a 6 of Cups, and 6 of Cups is about returning back to the loves of childhood. This has come up a lot for people. The good news is that some of you could be starting little projects that are actually financially beneficial. Maybe you always wanted to be an artist, and then you say, gosh darn it, I'm going to build a little artist studio in my apartment or whatnot. And then you decide that you are going to go to a few flea markets, and then you do sell a piece of art and you do make $50 and you think, oh my God, I'm a paid artist. I made it happen. And then you start doing it some more. It has that feel to it. 2 of Pentacles. This is somebody who could be actually making money doing what they love. This is somebody that could actually make a life from what they love. Go back to the things you love. Take risk. Sound judgment is with you. I want to be a folk singer. So people come here to get tarot readings, and then I force them to listen to me sing. And I'm 59, but I don't listen to no anymore. My internal mommy voice say, hey, yeah, 50. I'm like, so is Emmylou Harris is older than me, and she's still kicking it, right? So I just don't listen to that crap anymore. Just go do what you love. Do what you love. That is the message today. You were put in this earth to bring your joy into the world because it raises the planet up. Judgment is sound. Your crossing card. Let go of the things that don't serve you. You can decide what battles to take on. If you want to take those battles on, if you feel like you have the energy to take on those battles, fine. But understand that our energy is limited. Our energy is limited. And so it's up to you what you want to put your energy towards. Cautious optimism. I feel this is the time to overcome our fears and to develop confidence, a little bit of confidence in yourself. This is somebody who may force themselves to come out of their own self-imposed fear. Start small. This is like the little baby chicken with the weak legs. You got to start small, but don't hold back your potential. See people traveling too. There's quite a few that are going to be traveling. Adventures, travel for some of you. Celebrations and joy. The sooner you realize that the purpose of life is to bring your joy into the world and to develop skills, whether it's me learning to play the guitar or for fun. This dimension is about having fun and raising this planet up to a better place. You are supposed to pursue your dreams, be in your joy. The moral responsibility to pursue our bliss. So we have a moral, this is what the Dalai Lama talks about. We have a moral responsibility to pursue heaven on earth for ourselves so that we can give it back to the world. It is selfish and morally wrong to sit in your home depressed saying, my dream is over. So think about it that way. Think about it the way the Dalai Lama would think about it. No, if that's your bliss and that's your joy, you have a moral responsibility as a fellow human to pursue it so that you can give it back to the world. I'm seeing healthier partnerships and healthier relationships for the group as well. Relationships that were a struggle, relationships with people that had issues, letting that go and instead entering into more peaceful relationships with people. Partnerships and friendships, mutually supportive, are emphasized quite a bit for you in the coming months. The dreamer is a huge part of this group. The Queen of Cups rubs her lamps, but now is the time of the King of Wands, which is to take your dreams and give them wing, to actually put, you have this in the 4th house, which is all about entrepreneurship. And now is the time to get yourself organized, get yourself a plan. Final outcome for many of you could be business success, and for some of you, romantic success. See some of you taking a trip. Some of you are going to be going overseas. And for those of you who are going overseas, you could find yourself, I see some of you traveling and possibly finding your husband or your partner in life. If that's me, then I definitely need to go to Ireland, because I'm seeing this as an outcome. And then there's something about romance coming for people. And then there's this guy. So some of you are going to have a little romance. If it's not romance, then it's business opportunities abroad. So that is what I see. Time to put on your dancing shoes, folks. That is the general reading. So if you do go abroad, where will you go? Anybody thinking about an international trip? I went to Iceland one time because it was like the only place open during COVID. And I thought, well, I've never really wanted to go to Iceland, but I got to get the heck out of the US. I've been stuck for how many years? I got to get out of here. And it was cheap. But now that I've been once, I'm thinking, I kind of want to go back to Iceland. I had a really good time there. It's beautiful. I feel like 1 week wasn't enough. I think I might go back. But it was interesting. The first time I went, I thought, I don't think I'll go back to Iceland. It's like I done. But now I'm like, I miss Iceland. I want to go back to Iceland. So it's a really great place and not too far away. Italy is cool. Costa Rica, yeah. Egypt, yeah. I have a lot of friends that. Oh, hi, Kay. Good to see you here. Kay and I. Are we still on for today? We're going to go hang out. Maybe get some food or something. Yeah, I had a really great time in Iceland. So whenever people are ready, we can blitz away. If people have questions for me, um, yeah, I've never gone to Ireland and I've never gone to Wales, but I've been to England. I've not seen Scotland, Wales, or Ireland. Yeah. All right, so we've got the order to blitz away. So I'm just going to go ahead and start going through questions as they come along. Um, Hopefully we can get through as many as possible. Oh, I see somebody from Ashland, Oregon is here. Yes. Oh, thank you, Foggy Ozark, for the big orange heart. Hi, Jay from Seattle. Oh, thanks for the compliments on my makeup. Kept it simple, just brown. Thank you for the donations to the ACLU, Brenda Stouffer. Very kind, very kind, very kind, very kind. And we know that L, ooh, L Quest donated. Yeah, very nice. Okay. All right. So here's a question from Susan Nesson. Do you feel the Democrats will win both the House and the Senate because of the killing and overturning of Roe v. Wade? Let's take a look and see how I feel like, whether it's true or not, the Republicans often will win because they depict the Democrats as blowing tons of money and taking everybody's money and taxing people through the roof. So that myth of the Democrats we have to clean up the reason we lose, because they keep thinking that we're responsible for taking all their money. And so as long as the Republicans present the myth that we are taking more taxes than they are, we will continue to have challenges. That's what I think. But let's take a look at the midterms. How will the Democrats do in the midterms? They'll do a lot better than we had previously thought, and the reason has to do with changing demographics. So the Republicans didn't get the big win that they had hoped for, and it had to do with changing demographics. You can see here for the Democrats, they have an Empress card coming in, which means that because of Roe v. Wade, because of everything that happened, the Democrats are probably going to outraise the Republicans. It's up to us. If the Democratic Party wants, if you're a registered Democrat, we have to ask how do we make our party better? I think that this could be used, these issues, it could be very good incentive for raising money for the Democratic Party, because you have that Empress card, which is wealth, the treasure trove. You also have the magician moving in for the Democratic Party, which is power. So it goes back to civil liberties, which is why we're raising for the ACLU. I think this really hurt them in Texas. You can see hangman and then an attempt at theft. So that concerns me, because we've got concerns that on the local and state level, there could be attempts at theft in elections. So what they're saying is that the Democrats do much better than the Republicans had previously thought, and that there will be attempts to steal elections or to throw out votes. So are we surprised? Democrats win, and it has to do with social justice, Six of Pentacles, you can see. Also, truth and power lies with the Democrats. Truth, power. Hang up, and then Ten of Cups. It's a more compassionate nation, and you can see here attempt at theft of the election, a new beginning. So it's interesting that the Republicans talk about how we really, the Democrats are really screwing themselves over. Talk about being clueless. The policies that the Republicans are pushing are supported by what, 20% of Americans? That's not how you... Last straw politics, Joanna Carson, yes. That's exactly right. Texans don't want that. It's a different... it's not a bunch of evangelicals that built Texas. It was independent pioneers that wanted to get away from oversight, really. Don't you think? Okay, so we have a question here from a few people. Let's see here. Oh, Gold Weaver, that's a personal question. If you want your personal questions answered, come on Saturday at noon. We do free readings for people, for members, since you are a member. Did Putin survive his surgery? Yes, he had ascites removed. But he has metastatic ascites. Life expectancy, I think, is 1 to 4 months with malignant ascites. Oh, how sweet. So, Celtic Sheila's in the house. Good to see you. Okay, so here's a question from Claudia Pava. She wants to know, will Ukraine receive the MLRS to push Russia back? Will Putin be gone by summer's end? I think so, but let's take a look. All right. What is going on with Putin? Is Putin going to stick around? Is he going to live? Is he going to not live? Putin. I don't, it's weird. I feel like some aspects of the Russian government are on automatic, just like some parts of the American government are on automatic. We survived barely. Donald Trump, who was, I think, probably the worst. He was probably our worst president, I think. But this feels to me, I don't feel like that this individual is part of the government, really. It's interesting. Justice comes in over Lady Justice, and this almost looks like an offer of peace with the Knight of Cups moving in from Russia, and then the business of a ceasefire. Somebody's going to come in from the Russian side waving the peace sign, and then there's going to be efforts to negotiate a peace. There's confusion here. Again, I feel like nobody's in charge. I feel in a way, the Russians don't even know what the mission is. They want to negotiate a ceasefire. There's issues here of theft and actual things that were stolen, like the icons out of St. Peter's. So the question becomes, I see the international courts getting involved over the issue of crimes, including theft. You can see here the international courts coming in, and then over the issue of theft. So it looks like Putin will probably be gone in a couple months unless something dramatic changes. Then a new group of people come in, and then there looks to be a negotiation of peace happening here. Here's the offer. Then the world comes in over the business of the confusion and the theft, which leads me to think that there will be more trials like the soldier that was charged and for murder. Does anybody know what he was if he was convicted? He followed the order and he killed that man on the phone. Does anybody know what his conviction was? I felt like, given his age, he could never go back to Russia. He would have probably been killed if he went back to Russia. So it's like, what can you do with this 19-year-old kid just so pointlessly killed an innocent person? I mean, the whole thing was so pointless. So, yeah, I think that's what's going on. I also think that based on those cards, there's a lot of generals and people in positions of power in Russia that don't want this war to continue. I always get the impression that there are secret conversations happening between the West and Russia, between people in positions of power in Russia and the West, saying that they're doing what they can to end the war. Like, please don't bomb the crap out of us. We're trying to get this thing to stop. Not everybody is hawkish about this war. All right, so Debbie Brady has a question. She wants to know what's going on in China. Boy, China's a little scary right now, isn't it? There are threats against, evidently, tensions with Taiwan. Seems like they're looking their own people and kicking out everyone. What? They're locking their own people in and kicking everyone out. Oh, you mean because of COVID? Huh. Well, let's take a look at what's going on for China. Yeesh. How are we doing with our donations? I can't see how much we raised. How much did we raise so far for the ACLU? Okay, what's going on with China? Are you serious? Banks are shutting. Oh, do you guys remember that remote view I did a while ago where it showed that we followed the energy on China and it came back? We popped in our question. We did the HCRV. And it came back that they had spent too much money. They tried to expand too rapidly and that they were facing a collapse. Remember that when we did that on China? We followed the energy and it was leading towards a complete economic collapse because they had extended their borders too quickly and they had spent too much. Remember the whole thing? Oh, the donation bar is on the top. Yeah, I can't see it from here. Oh, if I go like this, top. Yeah, I can't see it on my end. I think that that's why meditation is so powerful, because you can just put your emotions aside and just watch people's behavior. And the executor is the part of your brain that does HCRV. But it's not looking good. I'll be honest with you. And the other problem is arrogance with China. They don't want help. Yeah, Elaine, they're expanding into the Pacific, but they're expanding too quickly, and they're assuming that a certain amount of money is going to be coming in, and they never thought COVID was going to happen. And so they owe billions and trillions for all this infrastructure, and they don't have it. And then you have the international banking system, World Trade Organization saying, you know, we're all invested here in what you're doing in Africa. We're all invested. Do you need some help? Do you need help from the world? Nope, 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 nope. We got this taking. China is in control of it. I don't think China's in control of the situation, because you have this energy that the World Trade Organization, the international community, is very concerned about what's happening in China. You can see here, Four of Cups, refusal to get assistance. So it's not like globally the world hasn't attempted to get help to China because of their circumstance, particularly when it comes to their health concerns. You can see here, they've refused the vaccine. Health aid. Look at this, refusal to take health aid. Four of Cups, multiple refusals of what? Archangel Raphael, health. Here it is again. Aid, Six of Pentacles. Here it is again. Stubborn. My way, boom, boom. My way, boom, boom. Refusal to receive aid, refusal to get assistance globally is part of their problem, and it's creating economic problems downstream. The World Trade Organization is going to have to bail them out. And there's an attempt here, theft. They, the sanctions, people want, the World Trade Organization also wants to fine China because of the economic impact of what they did. But you can see here, refusal to get aid and an attempt to bypass any kind of penalties. Theft. Refusal to receive help from others and attempt to flee. Theft. Regarding issues of health concerns in China, a lot of grief. Attempts to heal and grief. Here it is again, the World Trade Organization, the international community, compensation, because how many millions of people died? People are permanently physically damaged, and it's coming out of our pocketbooks, and none of this would have China needs to pay for that. We're going to start fighting about the economic. Absolutely, China should pay. You disabled millions of people. Why is this even controversial? Of course they have to pay. You can see an Ace of Pentacles moving in over this. And the world is going to hold, there's world consequences. It's the money. It's, what do you guys think? If you have a public, actually, I want to talk about that with you folks, because I want your opinion, because there's mixed feelings about this. Here's the two arguments when you go into this. The first argument is that from WTO, from the UN, is that China should have to pay retributions to the countries that economically suffered because of COVID and had family members die, disabled. The economic toll, China should have to pay for that. They should give money to the international community to rebuild from the consequences of their disastrous public health policies. That's argument number one. Okay. Argument number two, this is China's argument. This is China's lawyers. What happened to us can happen to you too. What happened with our public health could happen to America. It could happen anywhere else. It just happened to happen with us. And so if you come after China with these kinds of international sanctions, etc., understand that if the Spanish flu happens again in Missouri, it's going to be America next, because you do a lot of meat exporting. You do a lot of this stuff. So remember, what you do to China, we have the right to do it to the United States if the same thing happens with your public health policy. So I guess my question to you folks is, do you feel that we have a right to demand financial compensation from China because of what happened to American citizens due to COVID, and because they failed to adequately address a public health crisis. I guess that's my question. Or do you agree with the Chinese lawyers that, hey, it could have happened to any country, and who knows, one day it could happen to you, and then you'll be the one sanctioned? Which argument? Some people agree with that. Some people think it's a dangerous precedent, and some people in the UN don't want that precedent because they can't guarantee that they themselves aren't going to someday have a public health crisis like this. And if we had a policy of this type of international punishment, it could theoretically, those countries could be in really bad shape. And so that's why a lot of people in the UN are opposed to punishing China. Like, hey, if it happened in Nicaragua, we would be finished, right? Like, we don't have the economic wherewithal to pay the world if something like this happened here. Yeah, so it's complicated. It's complicated. I don't know. I mean, like, my first knee-jerk reaction is, yeah, of course you have to pay. You killed a bunch of people. I don't know. All right, so this is a question coming from Joanna Carson. She wants to know if Kim Jong Un is in a coma. This is so bizarre, this whole story, because first off, their prosthetics and makeup people are really pretty good in China. You guys know I used to be an actor, an extra. So I've done prosthetics. I was a Conehead for about 3 weeks on the movie Coneheads. Somebody had said to me, haven't you ever met any nice actors? I would say 99% of actors are great people. I didn't want people to think I didn't like actors, but hands down, the nicest people I've ever worked with are the cast of Saturday Night Live. But I got to be a Conehead for 3 weeks. And guess who my instructor was? How to be a Conehead. Training in Conehead. Dan Aykroyd was my teacher. But anyway, so I know prosthetics because I had it on my head for 3 weeks. But it goes over your eyebrows. The prosthetic comes over the eyebrow. And this lid here, that's where it goes over. And then when you close, and then you do the makeup to cover the line, and then you tape the eyebrow onto the prosthetic. So you don't see the line because it's under the rim here. And then you pull it back. Here is where you tape it down. And you use glue. You use crazy glue to tape it down. And it also, along here, the side down here. So with the Kim Jong Un, fake Kim Jong Un, you can see the prosthetic pulling down here, and you can see the tape. They forgot to remove the tape. So when I saw that, I said, "Oh, it's a prosthetic. I see you guys forgot to take his tape off." So it was a fake Kim Jong Un. So that's the question. Are they all fake? I don't know. What do y'all think, folks? Are they all fake? Oh my God. Let's find out. Maybe the original guy took off and moved to Tahiti, and because he was talking about doing facial surgery and having just completely making himself look different and moving to Tahiti and just letting the generals take control. And maybe they have 7 extras that they just put prosthetics on and wave them around like, we don't need you. That's one of the theories. Let's take a look. Funniest thing that ever happened. I will tell you a little bit about that. I was on the set of Coneheads the movie for 3 weeks. I think we were on Paramount lot. And at the same exact time that we were shooting the Coneheads, my boyfriend, who later became my husband, he was also he's an actor. He was shooting The Addams Family 2. Addams Family 2, is that right? So we were next door to each other. So I was on the planet of Remulac. They built the planet of Remulac on the set. And I was getting call times like 3:30 in the morning. So I started hallucinating a little bit. You know, can you imagine showing up to work at 3:30 in the morning and all you see everywhere is Remulac, a planet of Remulac, and places to sit to have your makeup done, and your call time is 3:30 in the morning. And so they just say, "We'll put your makeup on. You can go sit in a chair and snooze until we call you to set at 10 a.m." But it takes so long to get this stuff on. And then we would show up, and then Dan Aykroyd would show up, and he would march us all out to the lot in our Conehead outfits, and we would march around, and he would take us through exercises. But it was very, but my boyfriend at the time, he was doing The Addams Family, and so I would go and visit The Addams Family set, and you had all these Addams Family people running around and all these Conehead people running around. It was very funny. And Angelica Houston, she came out. She was in her full outfit as Morticia. And she's like egging us on, and we're like dancing as Coneheads. And a group of tourists come, they were like doing a tour. And they drive with one of the cars. They're like, "Hey!" And we're like, "Ah!" All these Coneheads. It was very funny. But I digress. I don't know why I started talking about that. Fun memories of my previous life. Oh my God. All right, Kim Jong Un. It was so much fun. We have a lot of great photographs too. We took a lot of great photographs. Adore Dan Aykroyd. Adore him. Beautiful man. Very kind. I don't think that that Kim Jong Un is in a good place. If he is still alive, he's not independent. He's not independent. You can see here the devil card, which would be that there's some kind of chain over him, a codependent relationship. Now, if he's in ICU or if he's on life support or something like that, that might explain the devil card, because the devil card is about being chained to something. It's a codependent relationship. And then you have the world here. And then you have assistance from the world, and then something about betrayal, 10 of Swords. He was betrayed. Cash was also picking up that he was offline, right? I saw Cash recently. Yeah, it's like he's offline. Something here about him getting betrayed too, which I didn't see previously. It's almost like the equivalent of the courts coming in or something. He was out of control or something, and then you have this is his outcome. He's offline. That's the best way to describe it. It's almost like he got replaced by 7 extras. Isn't that crazy? I'd be more curious about what his sister is up to. The whole cast of SNL is great. I love, I actually got to have lunch with Phil Hartman on that set because we all eat together. It was completely egalitarian. This is the other thing I love about SNL. It's egalitarian. Nobody thinks they're better than anybody else. That's what Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman's like, what's with the attitude? Some PA was yelling at a extra, and Phil Hartman says, "What's with the attitude? This is SNL. We don't act like that. What's with the I'm better than you or what is this crap?" That's SNL. Yeah, they don't believe in any of that. They don't do that. They think that's all crap. My last movie was with Johnny Depp. I quit. I was like, I quit. I don't want to be an actor anymore. I don't want to be an actor anymore. We'll just go on one more audition. I don't want to do this anymore. Hey, good news, doctor. Good news, Whimsy. Tim Burton picked you. You're going to have a part in Ed Wood. You got to show up here, there, and get your outfit and blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't want to do it anymore. What? Nobody does that. Nobody turns down Tim Burton. I'm like, I just don't feel inspired. Are you insane? They thought I had lost my mind. Tim Burton's people call. It's like, you don't want to do it? I'm like, no, I think I'm moving to New York. I'm kind of depressed in LA. They'd never had an actor do that before. I don't want to. Listen, Tim Burton has picked you to be. You're going to get down the wardrobe now, and you're it's like, all right. So we shot 3 days. Ed Wood. It was a hell of a lot of fun, and I was supposed to kind of molest Johnny Depp a little bit. I was supposed to dance with him seductively. And he was. So the director, Tim Burton, said, everybody's too uptight, man. It was a party scene. This scene is not working. Everybody's too damn up. Let's take a break. Everybody, let's take a break. Everybody's too nervous. Everybody's too stressed. You're all supposed to be drunk and partying. And we were supposed to be like dancing erotically with Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp was like, he's actually a very shy guy. So Bill Murray said, okay, I got a solution to this. Okay, we're ordering beer. So Bill Murray got the PAs to go and do a beer run. So they went and bought us a bunch of beer. We were sitting outside. We were shooting in the meatpacking district in this this dance. It was like an industrial. And they went and got us beer, and everybody sat around and drank beer. They were trying to get us a little bit of a buzz, because people were so shy. So Sarah Jessica Parker, Bill Murray, the rest, we all drank and just try. I don't drink. So I was like, I took a sip, like, I'll try some. And then we went back in and we shot the scene, and it was much, much better. But I thought that was really cool. I'm so naive and so clueless. I had no idea what the hell was going on. It's like, why aren't we taking a break for beer? Okay, you guys want to break for an hour and drink some beer? And it wasn't until years later that I realized it was because Tim Burton couldn't get the shot. He couldn't get the drunken party scene. So he didn't want us stoned, just a beer. A little something. Have a little something. So it was a lot of fun. And the best, that was my last job. And it was the happiest I've ever been on a film set. It was absolutely wonderful. And one of the actors was an acting teacher. I gotta remember his name. But he was an acting coach, and during downtime, he played Bela Lugosi, the actor that played Bela Lugosi in Ed Wood. He was the teacher for the Actors Studio. He was the coach for the Actors Studio. And he decided to coach us that night. And he said, look, here's the trick of being a great actor. So the trick of being a great actor is that you throw yourself so completely in the scene that you forget about what anybody else thinks of you. And that's basically the direction we got. And so after a beer, we went in and we were able to get the scene, and it was a great scene. That's the scene, if you want to check it out, in Ed Wood, where Johnny Depp is dressed like Marilyn Monroe. There's a crazy woman running her hands over his body and saying, "I love you, Eddie. I love you, Eddie." That was me. Yeah. Martin Landau, yes. He was a lovely guy. And his daughter was also in that movie. Yeah. Eddie, I love you. I love you, Eddie. The camera was like this, and then they were catching the shot, and Johnny Depp was behind the camera, like looking at me, and I'm like looking at him, and they had the shot over here. And then Martin Landau was to my left. And I was like, "I love you, Eddie. I love you." And I was totally in character. And then I looked over on the left, and I could see Martin Landau. Martin Landau was like laughing his head off, like, you really took the direction well. Like, you really got into this. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. All right, my beloveds. I think I'm going to call it a day. I have a friend coming over. We're going to do some shopping. It is fun to be an actor. I just wish that there wasn't all that mean stuff going on. Yeah, I wish it was more. It should be fun. Being an actor is fun. I like being an actor. It's fun. It should be fun. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up. Thank you so much for the donations. If you're trying to get in for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. Yes, I will get the Wizio readings done today. I'm so sorry I'm behind. Those are the 5-minute videos that I tape. Did y'all have fun? All right. Love and life. You want to see what my ex-husband looks like? He's in the film as well. He's there standing in the back looking very ominous in the Ed Wood scenes. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great rest. Yeah, I should go get ice cream. Ice cream for me. Oh, are we going for ice cream, Kate? Lovely. Yum, yum, yum. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.